My 25M, GF25F, has a wolf dog and we can't find a place to rent.
My GF and I have been living together, and when we moved in together she had a 3-month-old puppy. We thought it was husky mix and didn't pay too much mind to it. The dog is now 1 and he's way bigger than a normal husky. Some of the neighbors got scared and complained to management, forcing us to do a DNA test, and we've found out that the dog is a 60% wolf. The apartment doesn't classify this as a pet and has given us the month to move out or rehome the dog. We've been looking at other apartments and no one is entreating us, and we live in a fairly large city, so landlords aren't really inclined to rent out homes to people with pets. Anyway, we will be kicked out at the end of the month, so we need to figure out something. I've told her we should probably rehome the dog since there's no way we can care for it. Technically it's also an animal and I'm not sure if it would be happy in a 2-bedroom apartment. But she isn't agreeing. What do I do? TLDR, my GF won't rehome her pet and we are running the risk of going homeless.
Check your local laws. It might be literally illegal to even own this animal without some kind of permit.
As others have said, it may not even be legal to own exotic animals in your area. If it isn't, then surrendering doggy to a wildlife rescue may be what you have to do. If it's legal to own him, you need a more rural home where he can thrive. If that isn't an option for you guys, then surrendering him to a wildlife rescue will be what is best for him. If she refuses, I'd tell her she's on her own to find a place, because you aren't going to get dragged into homelessness because of her choices.
Okay, so really what you need to decide is if a wolf dog can be happy living with you. If you live in a big city and will be moving into an apartment, that is not an ideal situation for a dog of that size and metabolism. Do you/your girlfriend work from home? Can you take the dog for a minimum of 2 full-hour walks a day? Can you find space to let the dog run free every few days? I think even a husky in an apartment is cruel, unless the owner can devote daily time to the dog, not just walk it around the block a few times. Yes, it might be illegal to even own the dog, and yes, it is clearly impeding your ability to find housing, but even if you can keep the dog and find a place, is that fair to the dog? You should really look into rehoming the dog so that it can be in an environment where it can thrive.
Most DNA tests are not accurate for hybrid testing. Most dogs people try to pass off as wolf dogs are just German Shepherd Husky mixes. The most accurate test for wolf dogs would be Embark. Get the dog retested.
Those DNA tests are garbage. We had a representative come to our vet clinic and offered all of us free tests in hopes we'd promote the product. At the time, I had 2 full-breed, well-bred, papered dogs. I met the parents personally. Long line of showing competition. I.e., no question what breed they were. The DNA tests came back all over the place. It was hilarious. The likelihood that you have a wolf hybrid is ridiculously small. More likely a husky cross with a Dane or wolfhound or GP. I would go to your vet and have them make their visual assessment and put that in the medical record. Like, husky cross.
Then you should be able to get around any breed restrictions. That said, if the dog is scaring people, perhaps more training is warranted. I have very big dogs and people aren't freaking out about mine, but they are well trained.
Not to kick you when you are down. But even a regular husky is too active and high energy to keep in an apartment. That's practically animal abuse. A husky is not an apartment dog at all. Your poor GF's stark dreams are slipping away before her eyes, wolf. Can we see a picture of this scary dog? So, this one is not totally your fault, as it sounds like you went through a rescue and didn't know what you were getting into, but whoever bred these dogs has done them a huge disservice. Many wolf dogs do not ultimately end up domesticated enough to enjoy city or house dog living. As a puppy it may be cool, but when it starts to enter its teen years, all hell is going to break loose. Because people have bought wolf dogs then realized life with one wasn't like a Disney movie. There are a few compounds out there in the country that rescue them. I'd contact a place like this and get advice or find out if they have a network of rescues near you. https lockwoodArk.org/lark-animals. You aren't going to be able to rehome it easily in any city, and there may be laws making it illegal to own where you are. I'd check that out too. In general, even a regular husky would go crazy in an apartment without a backyard once it is a young adult. Unless you ran it several miles 2x per day and gave it a lot of mental stimulation. They are a high-intensity working breed. As for your girlfriend, she needs to understand that she can love an animal and still be an abuser. Abuse is not providing the animal the kind of environment it needs to not go mentally crazy. Good luck.
You want to try r/legal advice.
Rent a farmhouse out in the country. Far fewer rules out there. Actually, I'm waiting to see what recalcitrant GF is going to do at the end of the month. So please provide an update. Out of curiosity, what is the dog's eye color? If it's that high content of a wolf dog, then golden brown eyes are going to be almost guaranteed. If the dog has blue eyes, then that would be another hint that the DNA test isn't correct. I definitely second what others are saying about getting him retested with a more reliable test. The chances of getting one at a rescue are pretty slim. And I agree with others who are saying he might be a German Shepherd or maybe Malamute mix. Sometimes when those breeds are mixed, they really do come out looking just like wolves. Albeit obviously smaller, and the blue eyes thing. Real wolves are massive. If you haven't seen one in person, it is pretty obvious when you see a real high-content wolf dog or a pure wolf that they are a completely different animal from husky or Malamute mixes. Real wolf dogs are really dangerous when they get older if he turns out to really be one. Especially that high content. You will need to find a wolf sanctuary for him. They grow up to be incredibly territorial, and he could end up really hurting or even killing someone. Like the mailman or a guest you have over. Due to him wanting to protect you guys. They also are ruthless dog killers. I remember a story of a wolf dog owner where their wolf dog brought home the neighbor's dead sheepdog. They really should not be bred. And while it isn't the dog's fault, they honestly need to be living in outdoor enclosures and treated like zoo animals more than pets. Depending on the state, it may be illegal to own in general. 60% wolf is not an apartment animal. Both of you are putting yourselves at risk of a lawsuit if it ever attacks a person or animal. Your renter's, homeowner's insurance also won't cover a wolf dog. You either need to move to a more rural location where it has a gated yard to spend time in, or rehome it. There really isn't any other option for the dog to have a decent and safe life. There are wolf dog specific rescues. Don't just give it someone on Craigslist. Have you guys tried the wilderness? Do not just rehome the dog. Find a sanctuary for it that can actually care for it. Wolf dogs can be quite aggressive if not properly trained, and even then, they could still be aggressive randomly. These animals need special care. Please take it to a wolf dog sanctuary. Setting aside the wolfness of the animal, there's a good chance that the law doesn't allow your apartment managers to force you out on this basis. Given the lack of other options, it's probably worth discussing this with an attorney. Yeah, what other person said? You may have an animal illegally. There are some states that treat hybrids as domesticated animals. Others they are prohibited or banned. Some are actually put down. Even if your state allows it as a domesticated breed, depending on your city or county laws, you still can't own one. Find an organization that take care of wolf dogs. It won't be happy with apartment or really average owner lifestyle. If you are in USA, contact this org. From what I know, they specialized in that and will take him or guide you with what to do. I've had 2 wolf malamute hybrids and they were absolutely wonderful guys. My big OL Sheriff of Nottingham, Montana, was probably one of the sweetest dogs I've ever had. I couldn't have kept them in an apartment though. They had a few acres to roam freely. And I'd take them on nice walks a few times a week. They weren't overly hyper, but if cramped in a small space they would have been miserable. If you guys can't find a place with a yard, rehoming them to someone with a lot more space is probably the best thing for your doggo. Huskies are very active and need room to burn that energy off. It isn't kind to them to keep them in an apartment. There are often a fair amount of houses for rent that are similar in price to apartments. Sometimes they're actually less. Keep looking. But honestly, try talking to her about what's best for the doggo in the long run if you can't find a place that is fitting for them. Live farther out and drive farther to get to work. An apartment is a bad idea for a husky and even worse for a wolf dog. You can probably find bigger places to rent with yard space and more room to walk your wolf dog. The other option is that wolf dogs are very difficult to keep as pets and you could find a wolf sanctuary for him or her. If Wolfie is very much like a pet, then the only solution is to move to a less crowded area.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.